Obviously, I'm a Yankees fan, so I'd love to see him.
It's almost like legacy of like the NFL versus.
But I definitely think that Baker could be a really good player for the Panthers moving forward.
Did I say Oreos?
There's a lot of questions I have about Mahomes. Looks like a kid playing Madden.
Turning point in the game is the 13-second drive.
They play very hard, even though they're terrible.
He's a good pick. You for sure. He's going to be a good player, but I can't argue against the Jamar Chase pick.
They made moves saying we're going to win this year, at least get into the playoffs.
I'm going with my guy, Corey Seager. So glad.
What's good, y'all? My name is Austin Jarman, and I play rugby for the University of Notre Dame. And you're listening to the Outsider's Opinion with Austin and Kevin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB Opinions of the week. This is not a free agency video. A lot of stuff happening, and so we're not posting that yet. And we're not recording that yet because posting, we could miss a big trade or a big deal. As it seems like the stove is getting pretty hot, Austin.
Yeah, there's been a lot happening, and I'm so ready for a big signing to happen, big trade. But there's been a couple of stuff that's been major, but the Yankees haven't made many moves besides re-signing Rizzo, which was a must anyway. So,
Yeah. Rangers are now the Yankees.
can't complain about paying people now. That's gone.
Spend that money.
Yeah.
Let's just rewind and go back to some great seasons this year, and let's get going with some awards. So we're going to review the awards, give our thoughts on the awards, and I just think we start with the Rookie of the Year winners. I'm not shocked by the AL Rookie of the Year, as that was Julio Rodriguez. Michael Harris was the NL Rookie of the Year. I think there was a lot of competition in the NL Rookie of the Year. And that was just with Michael Harris and Spencer Strider on the same team. That's the competition. AL, I think it was a little bit. I think Julio kind of ran away with it.
Yeah, I mean, in both. I mean, there's also Ali Rutschman that I thought had a serious chance. There was Stephen Kwan for the for Guardians. Wow. And then, there was a lot. But I think it's also because Michael Harris took a lot of the job when Acuna was out, that I feel like that was a big reason why they chose him. Now, I guess it does make sense for a lot of those other guys that could have won it, but I think they got both of them right. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think Michael Harris, Strider was in the bullpen, then he moved to starter. Harris came up, but then just remained the starter, and he was fantastic. Julio, I believe, started with the team, and he just had a phenomenal year, burst onto the scene. To me, Adley Rutschman came on later, was called up later. Stephen Kwan was there. But I think just the electric factor that both these players had kind of made them the leaders, and I agree with it. Julio had a fantastic year, so did Michael Harris, and they both pushed their teams to the playoffs.
Yeah, and I do think that's a major reason why also. I think if Adley could have gotten the Orioles to the playoffs, there would have been a much bigger hype train around him, especially if they could have gotten over Julio's Mariners. But when you don't make the playoffs, it kind of stifles the award. If we look at all the players that won awards, most of them made the playoffs. Not all of them, but most of them. And I feel like that's a common occurrence nowadays.
Yeah, I agree. And now we've talked about hitters. Let's go to some pitchers, both unanimous awards, and that is Justin Verlander winning the AL Cy Young and the NL Cy Young going to Sandy Alcantara.
I don't feel like either of these should have been unanimous. At least not Verlander, because he was out for so many games. However, he should have won it, so I'm not mad at all. And that goes for a lot of different categories here, where I didn't think a guy should have been unanimous or even got that many votes, but he still should have won it. And that's the same thing with both of these guys. Both were right. They needed to win it. But Justin Verlander only pitched in, 20 games, 24 games, something like that. So while yes, he should have won it, unanimous is kind of disingenuous to the guys who played a very long time. Like Otani. Otani should have definitely gotten votes.
Yeah, you mentioned Otani, and I'm shocked he didn't get votes. And then NL, we talked about Strider. I think someone didn't vote for him. I think Corbin Burns. Maybe.
Burns kind of fell off near the end of the year, and while Burns probably should have gotten at least, well, they got votes. Everyone got votes that I'd mentioned, but just not first place votes. And I feel like Otani should have gotten first place votes. He did not hit as well. Like he won the. I don't know if you were going to mention the Edgar Martinez Award, the DH of the Year award, basically. But in the AL, Otani won it, and I don't know about that. Otani did not hit as well as he would have liked. However, he pitched absolutely outstanding this year, and it's really hard for me to imagine him getting 0 first place votes for the quite remarkable year he had.
Yeah, I do agree. Otani, yeah, first place. I thought someone would put Strider, but it just marks. But I do agree they get it right. But I do agree with you about the votes.
The issue with Strider with me is that Alcantara had more complete games than any other team. Alcantara had 6 complete games. Every other team combined had 5. I'm pretty sure that's the stat. I know he led the league easily in it, and it's a big thing, especially nowadays when we're forcing pitchers to come out of the game early and all this other stuff. But Alcantara kept those great numbers with obviously a weaker team, a team that didn't make the playoffs, and he played more. He played more complete games than almost anyone.
Got okay. So who do you think someone would have put instead of Alcantara for the votes?
Oh yeah. I would have gone with Strider, but I feel like that Alcantara would have been the unanimous if I had to choose between the two.
Yeah, that's fair. I was shocked with Justin Verlander, but
he should have won it though.
Oh yeah, they both. Yeah, I both agreed they should have won. But I was like, oh, unanimous. That's cool. Or interesting pick there. And Justin Verlander is getting there up in age. Austin, can you name the oldest pitcher to win the Cy Young Award?
I think I know who it is, but I can't remember his name. That's gonna sound like I'm stupid. Gaylord Perry?
Close. Gaylord Perry was 40 years and 17 days old. The guy who won it, do you want the year or not? You know the year, right?
No, just tell me. I got it wrong. I was close, but I got it wrong.
2004 Roger Clemens, when he was with Houston.
Oh, I should have gotten that.
And he was 42 years old and 60 days old.
So Gaylord Perry was second.
Yes, Gaylord Perry.
Okay, so I wasn't like
yeah.
Okay.
Gaylord Perry was second. Then the third is Early Wynn, who's 39 years old and 267 days old. And then Justin Verlander was 39 years old and 227 days old.
Okay. So yeah, that definitely wasn't. I wasn't far off, but I was still wrong. So you got me with that one.
Yeah, and yeah, I thought it was quite a coincidence that Roger Clemens was with Houston when he got it, and Justin Verlander was with Houston when he got it.
That is true.
But yeah, so that's the Cy Young Awards. I'm saving the MVP awards for last. So I'm going to go with the Manager Award. AL Manager was, okay, it doesn't have a name. It was Terry Francona, the Guardians manager. And then NL, you have Buck Showalter, who I believe there was that stat where he won Manager of the Year with 3 different teams.
Yes, I think you won it with the Yankees, Orioles, and Mets.
Yeah, I
you
believe
can fact
you're
check that
correct on that.
I don't know why, for some reason, the Orioles just slipped my brain, but.
All right. What do you think about those picks while I look it up?
Terry Francona was the easy choice in the AL. You and I both had the Guardians being last in You and I were very wrong, extremely wrong. And Terry Francona was a big reason why. He had belief in the young guys when many other people didn't, and I definitely feel like there was a lot of doubters, and he proved a lot of them wrong. So I was a big proponent of him being it. And then for the NL, I'm fine with Showalter. It does hurt that he didn't even make the divisional round, but the Mets weren't expected to win 100 games, I'd say, before the year. I guess maybe some people thought that. He was an impressive season. I would have still gone with Dave Roberts for the Dodgers because he won so many games. And look, if you want to say the Mets had, well, it was more impressive that the Mets got 101 than the Dodgers got whatever 109 or whatever it was. I mean, okay, but it's not like the Mets don't have great players heading into the year that we all thought were going to be amazing. So I definitely would have gone with Dave Roberts. But how do you feel?
I kind of prefer Showalter. I get your point with Roberts, but to me, I think the Mets were just outstanding, and it kind of reinvigorated New York almost, or that side of New York. And we were correct. But I know he got it with the Orioles and the Mets. The one I wasn't sure about was with the Yankees.
He was amazing with the Yankees, and then they fired him, and then they won this. They won 5. So I mean, or 4.
But yeah, he won it with the Yankees. So 3 different teams. But yeah, to me, Showalter, I think, just did a great job with the Mets. They did sign outstanding players. They added Scherzer. DeGrom came back later, and they just spent a lot in free agency. But so I kind of went with that with Showalter, and then Terry Francona. I agree. So that's my opinion. But you couldn't go wrong with Dave Roberts.
Yeah, I there is no wrong on either side there.
So now we're gonna do. I believe we're almost to we've talked about the outstanding DH award.
But what is it for the NL? Who won it in the NL?
Oh, that is harder for me to find. This one just says overall. Oh, the Hank Aaron AL Hank Aaron Award winners. Is that?
Oh yeah, you say that's the best hitter. So one of those is going to be Judge, obviously.
Yeah, it's Judge and Goldschmidt, which we can just talk about the MVP award winners now, as that was also Judge and Goldschmidt. AL, I don't think you can. I believe they made the right pick. AL, of course, it was Judge when he broke the record.
And also, it's not just that he broke the record. He wasn't a slugger this year. He was a hitter. Sluggers normally you associate with a below 250 average, or maybe I'll say below 265 average, and not many singles or doubles. But Judge hit over 300. He was almost going to win the Triple Crown until they sat. What is his name? The Twins' first baseman, Luis Arias. Until they started sitting him, so Judge basically couldn't win it, and then we sat Judge for the last game, so he didn't win it. But yeah, he was an all-around player, and he had one of the greatest seasons in MLB history, at least for a hitter.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I also think like he was the Yankees' offense for a majority of it. Most of the Yankees had good first half, second half they kind of
the second half we don't make the playoffs without Judge probably. Like we would have fallen off the biggest cliff. We would have had the greatest collapse, and greatest not meaning great, but greatest meaning huge collapse in the history of sports. Like we would have gone from on pace for the first half of the season to be the best regular season team ever to missing the playoffs. Probably. I mean, I don't know if we could have fallen off that hard because we still made it with 99 wins, and like we would have had to lose like 12 other games. But I mean, it definitely was possible, and we could have had the worst end stretch ever.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's not much there. Like we had talked about it before the season ended. Judge was most likely going to be the AL MVP pick, and he was. But now on to the NL MVP. Even though he had a terrible postseason, Paul Goldschmidt also flirted with the Triple Crown. And I think he deserved the NL MVP award.
Yeah, and I mean, I was really on Machado for a little bit. I thought Machado had a great year. And the fact of Machado is he's one of the best third baseman defenders in the league as well. So I love watching him play on both sides of the ball. And that's something that I feel like Goldschmidt, while he does have a good glove at first is not a physically demanding necessarily position like third base. But I definitely thought that Goldschmidt had a great season and he deserved it. I would have voted for him. At the very end of the year, I would have voted for him because he deserved it from so many other years with Arizona where he was great. And while he did play absolutely horrible in the playoffs, it was only a 2 game stretch, and you cannot. It's not a playoff award. It's a regular season award. So I think the right person won it.
Yep. So we haven't really disagreed much, only over manager of the year for the NL. And now we talked about the Hank Aaron, same thing. I can't find.
There's such a Edgar Martinez Award NL. Or maybe Edgar Martinez Award is NL and AL. That could be it. I could be wrong, and the only person who won it was Ohtani.
Yeah, it says Shohei Ohtani.
Okay. That's one of the few awards that is one player.
Or Edgar Martinez. Annually to the most outstanding designated hitter in the AL. Maybe it was,
Okay. Let me search it up.
maybe it was just because the NL used to not have a DH.
No, because a DH a guy has won it in the NL before. I think they won it in 2020. I think whatever his name is won it in 2020.
Marcell Ozuna did win it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I'm seeing is it says 2020 Ozuna won it, then Ohtani has won it the past 2 years.
Yeah, they don't have it on this. I'm on Baseball Reference and I can't find it.
Okay. So I believe we only have one award left, or Justin Turner won the Robert Clemente Award.
Roberto Clemente, yeah. And he's another guy he's great for the league, and I definitely thought he should have won it too. I mean, there's a lot of guys that do great charitable work for the league, but Turner's always been one of those at the very top.
Yeah, I agree. And now we'll end it with the comeback players of the year. Verlander won it, and Pujols won it, which I think I understand with Pujols. He just had a great season. To me, I always think of comeback player with injury, but he did make an incredible comeback and reached 700 home runs.
Yep, and it was definitely one of the. If we're just talking about the season overall, this season definitely wins an award for what all happened. Miguel Cabrera hit his 3,000 hit, obviously 700 for Pujols, and then a record breaker with Judge. It was a great playoffs. I mean, it was a great year, and I definitely enjoyed that. Can't wait for the next one.
Yep, me too. Any final thoughts, and I'll let you close it out.
I'm all good, but thank you guys for listening, and next week we'll have a new one.